Hi, everybody. I literally just smacked my elbow, so that's why I'm a couple seconds later than I should have been.
Wincing?
It did not feel
That's
good.
why you're wincing?
It's right on the corner of our lovely metal bench block. It did not feel good.
I can move this over here too, so it's a little bit easier for you to
That's right
see
in front of
and
me.
interact with. I'm getting there.
Anyway, we have our release today, so that's super exciting. I know everybody's been waiting for this to happen, and it's finally happening. This is a limited release today, so it's not going to be the full color line. We will continue to release as we go, but we're going to have some of our, what we consider to be more essential colors. We're going to do some fun projects. It's all going to be large scale, obviously, because this is a large scale bottle we have here, or container. And so you'll be able to do those large projects, or you can just get that nice value size because it is definitely worth your money. It is a cheaper form. Obviously, when you sell more volume, you're going to get a little bit better of a price.
Right. Right, because we save on packaging and labor
Yep.
and everything that we do each time we package something. So
Yep.
it's a great deal. For sure, I think we said before the bundle discounts, it's like about a 50% savings. Just automatically by getting the larger size.
Yeah.
So it's really great. You know, we still are going to be using the smaller size a lot for jewelry projects and small things because there's more control that way.
Yep.
But for your large projects, we found it was really difficult. You have to pour the whole bottle out and it's gone.
Yep.
When you're working with this. We also are debuting a new layout today, so with going horizontal on the live feed. So
And this is just specifically for this type
Yeah.
of format because it's large. We're not going to be able to fit it into this little scale like we can in
Right.
little jewelry pieces.
Yes.
That works for that, but not
so
for this.
don't expect to see this very often unless we're doing more of these lives to showcase, which I think maybe about once a month we're going to start doing this to release some colors a little bit at a time and go from there.
Yes.
Let's just see.
And then I do think we won't have a couple of colors, right? Because they require extra labeling.
What's that?
I said we won't have a couple of the colors.
Eventually we will do the whole
Whole
line.
thing, but there are
Yes.
some you're going to probably have to wait quite a while for because they require
Yeah.
a special labeling.
Yeah, just a little bit different. So
It's a little bit
Right.
different contents for the colors.
sure, but what we have done for you, which sorry, one of our containers has been opened because I used it, and so it's a little messier. Sorry, I left.
She grabbed the wrong one.
I grabbed the wrong one. I didn't leave. I left the clean one at home. So sorry about that. So you're gonna see one of the messy ones, because But
Ooh, Lisa said, I love horizontal because I can cast to my TV and love the bigger screen.
yeah, that's awesome, Lisa. So this will be right up your alley. So if you want to show them the bundles, we also have, they're under, the collection is under 2-ounce antiques. So if you want to see, if you can pop those up there, that would be great. Let's just see if we can get it working on this format.
This is really difficult.
Is it going to work? Because we can just show that, we can just
No,
tell them where
it'll
to
work.
go.
It's just
Okay.
hard to navigate on here because the
controls are all different.
the controls are right where the hook is that holds the iPad.
Yes.
So
I see.
That's why I'm accidentally clicking stuff that I shouldn't be clicking.
But yes, we are going to be showing you these, and if it's taking too much time, it's fine.
Okay, so the metallic basics Oh, that is not in the right spot. Let me try and...
We probably should have done that beforehand, but we were trying to get the setup so that everything looked good.
Okay, that's a little bit better spot. Metallic Basics, this is going to have...
Hold those three up.
I was about to do that. This is going to have your metallic copper. These do need to be stirred, which we will open and stir them in a little bit. This is going to be metallic silver and the metallic gold.
Right, and we purposefully have let these settle, except for the black one, because I used it recently, so that we can show you the best way to handle and mix them and open them.
And then the essential set, which would be our personal vintage favorites we always like to use, is our verdigris blue, as always. Is that surprising? Shouldn't be surprising at this point. And then our sepia brown. And then ignore the packaging.
Sorry, guys.
It's not even correct.
I left the pretty
black.
one. Left the pretty one with a nice label at home. Don't ask me how I did that. But I brought everything else.
So those are that.
And then also, we don't have large sizes of them here, but we're going to be doing a bundle of the gloss and the matte glazes as well. So you can use those as mediums and top coats. And so we thought that those would be really essential. Plus we're using them today in our demo.
Yep. So there is those popped up for you as well. Okay.
So each of these containers is 2 ounces, which is really great. We wanted a large enough mouth size so that you could dip a brush in there if you're using one color.
And you definitely can do that. So
Definitely.
And we will show you that and we'll stir them.
Let's talk about some of the things that we have with today. As far as materials that they're going to want. Okay. Chip brushes. These are 2 inches. Also 1.5 is a really great size. But the techniques that we're doing, you really want to have chip brushes. They're pretty reasonable. You can get them pretty much anywhere. Paper towels. And then some of the projects that we're going to be doing. We really wanted to focus on jewelry displays. So we have this yucky metallic container, which we're going to make look like antique copper or bronze or brass. And then we have a couple of frames that we're going to be creating jewelry displays out of. So that's kind of what we're starting with. We'll also use this largest size brush, which I don't know if you might want to paper towel it off or hand me one of those so I can do that. Are these?
And then what about the tissue?
These are all on vintage.com, Stephanie. They're not on the live shop. They're only available at vintage.com. And yes, tissue paper. Sorry, almost forgot. I'll get the one that I spilled in. And then tissue paper. Yes. All right, so we don't have any finished things to show you what we're going to make because we're doing it right here. Now, I've already done these techniques on a few other pieces, so I know how they're going to behave.
Yep.
Let's see, does anyone have any questions before we get into the techniques? Just see lots of hellos. Yes, on the retail site. So if you go to vintage.com, you're going to see a nice banner that matches the cover for this event, and click into that and it'll take you right where you need to go. Do you want to switch over to the other view? And then what I can do is move this over to keep whoever on screen so that you can be working there.
Sweet. Yep, that's better.
Okay. That way
You just moved it over.
Well, I know, but that will allow you to move over a little bit more.
No, you have it too much this way.
It's too much this way?
Yeah, it needs to be more this way.
All right.
Yep.
Okay.
That's center. Or not quite.
It's fine. It's close enough.
Look. It's not center.
Sure. Okay, so what do you want to start with? What should we start with?
Fix it? I showed it to you.
Yeah, I will.
Okay. Well, I can't see anything unless you fix it. So it's center.
Just move a little bit more this way so you're closer to your work
in front
zone.
of
It's okay, because I'm coming from this way. Yep, you're perfect. Do you all have two sections of your workshop, or is the background just another angle? The background is just another angle.
This is a really
So this
tiny
is just,
room.
it's very small. It's just when you can see that just a wider view right now of what we do. So let's start with the backgrounds, because that's going to take a minute to dry. So we will start with that. See if anybody can guess what this cardboard came from. Any guesses?
You a peek of the color on the other side.
Oh, you can show them all the text. Turn it over.
Well, they'll know what it is immediately.
Turn it over. They might not know. Okay, so can you explain a glaze versus paint? So a glaze is meant to, and specifically our antique glazes are meant to settle into the details or provide semi-opaque coverage. Now our paints are meant to be more of like an enamel or do full coverage. The metallics are the same in the paints or the glazes. So if you have the paint, the Ultimate Paint metallics, and if you have the glaze metallics, they are the same formula. They just act a little bit more like it because it is metallic pigments that are carried in our glaze medium, right? So hopefully that explains it. And then our gloss and our clear, those are those don't have any pigments in them. So hopefully that, Lynn, tell me if you have more questions than that. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna start with either your matte or your gloss glaze. Clear. So if you want to do this, you'll need the 2-pack of the clear and the glaze, and the gloss and the matte. So you'll just brush that over your whole surface. Work quickly because it dries quickly. You don't want to let it sit there because this is just going to stick your tissue paper to it. We did a similar technique in my masterclass when we did the paper mache jewelry. And then you're just going to stick that right on top. Just push it on there and make sure that there's a little bit of, move it around so that there's some little bit of texture to it. Not too much though. That's perfect. That looks really good. And then you'll just flip it over and remove the extra tissue by tearing upwards. Hi, Cindy. So we've been working with the antique glazes for quite a while on jewelry. We've been wanting to introduce these in a larger size, but it took us a while to get the branding just right, the packaging just right, the seal right so that it doesn't leak in transit. So we're really excited to do this today. Okay, so now you're going to take another coat and put it right on the top of this. And again, just work quickly in a very thin coat. This is just to kind of lock all that paper in. So this is upcycled, just cardboard from any packaging that you have laying around, and it will make a really good backdrop for your jewelry.
Okay.
Is it a little sniffly outside today?
Well, I've been outside for a while, so.
It's that time of year, isn't it? Poor Corian, I cannot believe she did the live on Wednesday. She was not feeling well at all. So excuse our sniffles. It's that time of year for sure. So we're going to let that dry. I actually have another one that I did a little bit earlier that I can hand you over. And we will set this aside to dry. So I have a couple of different frames here. I thought we would do a couple of nice options for you. So I think this one, I'd like to do a metallic background. We'll start by working in some of the black into the background, and then we'll go on top with some of the metallics. So we'll be doing two. On the smaller frame, we'll do a more of an antique verdigris look. And on this one, we're gonna do more of a metallic look, like we use some of our for our photography backgrounds. Let me know if you need it, if you want to wipe. So you're going to want to use the chip brush for this, because the idea when we're working with these is that you want less of an even coverage because we're creating an antique surface. Is Ames getting sick? I think she just has little sniffles, but you said you've been, and what you're going to want to do is not paint it like, but just like really just go in like circular motions. And look at how far this goes, you guys. So don't think about it like a paint, think about it like you're buffing things in. So we're just going to get a base layer here to get it all sealed in, and the black is very opaque. You're only going to need, I think, probably like one paintbrush dip to do this whole thing, I'm thinking. You'll want to get all the way out to the edges so that when this is in your frame, it will go along. Perfect. All right, you want to hand that to me, your surface for a second. I'm going to have you on camera open some of these other colors, your other metallic colors, and we'll do some stirring, etc. Yep, so these are gonna come with this metallic foil seal, just like you see here. Before you do that, before you get rid of the seal, shake it up. Okay? That's good. I wouldn't do that without the lid on, even with the seal. So you'll just remove that seal. There's also kind of this foam insert that you've got in the top that will be in there as well, that will help the seal. Okay, so now you're gonna take the back of your brush and you're gonna mix this in. The best way to do this is stirring it, okay? So that's gonna be getting any of the pigments that will have solidified. Once you get the pigments, because these are the metallics, they're gonna be the hardest ones to mix. So you just really get in there with your brush, stir to get it unstuck, and then you can use the other side of your brush as well if you want to really get it going. How wide is the opening of the container? Let me get a ruler out here. I think we've got one, I know. Here it is.
It should be pretty close to 2 inches considering the chip brushes.
It fits in there. It's about 2 3/8 inches. So a 2-inch chip brush will fit inside, which is really nice.
Oops. Oops again.
Oh, what are you doing over there? You're getting slosh happy. Do you want to hand me? So you can get most of it mixed up before you open it, and then the rest of it just with your brush. But these have been sitting for a couple of months. So you can see how you'll need to stir them. Do you want to hand that to me? And you can get started on this one. I just need to see what you're, there you go. Oh. Well, this is good. Did you try? No, you know what, Lisa? The best way is going to be to stir it. I don't think the vortex mixer is really what you need. Plus, once these have been opened, you're not going to want to shake them as vigorously once you don't have the metallic seal on them anymore. Just because it's harder to get it sealed down as much, and we don't want any leakage. All right, so I'm going to have you start, so that we don't bore everybody. I'll get those open, and I will have you start buffing in a couple of these colors. It looks like these have dried, but I just wanted to make sure that we showed, because we don't have to show opening every one of them. I wanted to make sure that we showed at least how they're gonna come packaged.
Try to just dry off the rest of this a little bit.
No, it doesn't have to be dry. So here is your silver. And probably with this one, I think you're gonna want another brush like this guy. So if you want to dry, because some of your pigments are gonna wanna still stay near the bottom.
How do you want this brushed on here?
So you're gonna buff it in. Think about like,
So no artistry, just buffing.
no artistry for sure. But I would do it in small sections and be a little bit sparing with it. And don't do the whole thing. And I would dab off with some paper towel. So really think about like just putting some of the colors in sections. And get this copper going. Do you want to hand me that copper? Thank you. Make sure that this is unsealed for you. Okay, so I would add in, just think about switching back and forth between a couple of the colors. So do a little bit of metallic gold, do a little bit of metallic copper. I'm gonna put a little bit on your mat here for you so that you can do that. I don't know why this silver. Okay, so put some gold over here for you. And we'll put a little bit of the silver and some of the copper. So think about just like using it to just like stipple, keep it drier, so that you're not covering up your other work, you know what I'm saying? This is the first time you've worked on something bigger, isn't it?
No. We've done pots.
In a live?
No. We've done pots in a live.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Just not on cardboard and paper.
Yeah. It's been a while then. It's been a minute. Maybe over a year?
Not quite.
Okay, so be careful because I'm giving you more of that color as well. So
did you take the paper towels?
I wanted to make sure I wasn't cross-contaminating. Confession, when I'm doing something like this, I will just dip right into the pot. But that's probably being a bad example for you guys. Oh, that's pretty. I think this is going to be a really pretty look for the jewelry background. Now we don't want to get so like artsy fartsy that it takes away from whatever we're putting on top of it, since this is going to be a jewelry display. So keep keep your variations somewhat subtle, but you still want some variety in there. What's your favorite tool, Wendy? She said Ainsley's using my favorite tool.
Probably the stippling brush.
I don't know. I don't know that she uses a chip brush. Maybe paper towel.
Could be.
Trying to keep you on frame. Maybe we'll keep this over here. There we go. The back of the brush, yes. I am in love with the chip brush. I use it for all of these kinds of projects for sure. I'm liking, I think this is just about there. I would maybe add a little bit more, in that one kind of very black area that's more silver. Maybe add a little bit more gold or copper in there so that this seems like it's the whole treatment on it, since this is going to be a jewelry background. And then I think you're good. So this could become a jewelry background for photography, but we're going to put it in a frame so that you can hang things on it. So the chip brush is really great because you can stipple it in, you can swirl it in, and you don't need to put a lot of color on it. She's just really touching it a tiny bit. You good?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to swap places with you so that I can do this one, because I think this one will be kind of hard to walk you through. So we'll do this guy next, and Ainsley gets to sit in the question answering seat, and I will take a second here. If you want to just adjust that so that I don't have to move. This is really cool. What do you guys think? Awesome. Okay, so how is this with dryness? We're pretty good. Okay. All right, awesome. So we're going to do this one in a verdigris finish. So we're going to use the verdigris blue and this sepia brown and just the teensiest bit of the black. So you'll notice with the standard colors that we're using here that you don't need to mix them as heavy. They're not going to settle as bad. They still will settle, but it's not going to be as pronounced of really needing to mix it in. It's that way in the smaller bottles or any way that we're using these colors. Has this been rinsed? No?
No.
Okay.
I didn't want to put it in there.
Okay, so I'm just going to dry out my chip brush that we used for the black earlier. So what's nice about these three colors, which I kind of determined were our essentials, is that they combine to make a lot of different color variation. So we've got the brown, which has a lot of yellow in it, so you can get like a deeper green when mixing it together. Okay, so just making sure this is dry. We probably needed like a whole another stinking roll of not toilet paper, paper towel just for today. I think we're gonna go through it. Okay, getting this nice and dry. And I'm not like a color purist, so you're gonna be seeing me go through these, and I might dip in with a corner in each of them. Let's just make sure these are nice and stirred up. What's nice is if you're doing these in sections, I would even have like a couple of chip brushes out, maybe two of them, so that I can just dip in without worrying about it. Sometimes I do this, guys. I will use the whole towel. We're gonna get ourselves a new roll, just because time, right? We want to really get these cleaned off. Okay. Chip brushes are cheap too, so you can really just go in and then grab a little bit of this one, go in, and definitely going to use a different one for the black because there's a lot of pigment in that. I feel like everything's just soaked right now. You really want a dry brush. And I feel like all of our brushes are kind of soaking. So just bear with me a second to make sure that these are dry. Okay, perfect. I think I'm going to go in with a little bit heavier coat of this verdigris, a little bit more product on here. But you're going to see how these can kind of blend together. I'm going to take some of this paper towel. It's not really an exact science. You get kind of a feel for how this works and you just build it. Just make sure that this is real dry. Before I move on. Okay. So what's nice about the chip brush is you can apply just little bits of color as you're going, which means that you're not going to oversaturate your surface. If you're using something like cardboard, which we're using here. So you can kind of see how this is making a green with this mixture of colors. One thing to watch out with the chip brushes is that they tend to shed. So be looking at your project and make sure you don't have any strays in there. I know that I have some new brushes. Get me one. There's like a pack over there. I just want one of the fattest ones because these are all wet and it's just better. Thank you. Just in interest of time, it's better to have a completely dry one. Okay. There we go. So I'm just doing another coat on top. This largest brush size of ours also works really well with this size. That's looking pretty darn good. So you can see why with the glazes, why some of that opacity is important, because look, we're building on top to make this finish. Now we could make this more matte by putting a matte glaze on top, or you can make it glossier by putting a gloss glaze on top. I'm just going to set that aside to dry for a minute. And then we're going to use these same colors on this guy. So I'm going to show you how you can take, there's a lot of things that you can buy that are in, or you can thrift that are in this color that you might want to use as a jewelry display. This one is a bowl, but you could do, I'm thinking specifically of the ribbon tape that comes in rolls that's metal that you can hang earrings on. This is a really great way to antique that as well. So what I'm going to do is I will start with some black, and we're just going to buff it in. So the first layer is kind of like, it's just giving some tooth to it. Don't even worry about what this is looking like. And I'm just going straight from the container. For this look. So it's kind of a yucky, like the first layer is kind of yucky. Don't worry about it. I did a whole planter at home of this. I just love it. It was this gross, like stainless steel, like even uglier finish than this one that I redid. And then we'll just take a minute just to get this down, right? Any questions that I need to respond to, or comments about what we're doing?
One person asked us to post a picture of the finished display.
Of these when we're done?
Yeah. Of the stuff, yeah.
I definitely will. It's harder to show, like, I don't know, do you want to go to full screen for a second here? How do I do that? If I wanted to show this.
You just click on yourself.
Okay, so.
Just click on the view you want.
Is it, which one is it?
Whatever view you want.
Is it one?
No numbers, it should just be whatever it looks like.
There's like.
Just whichever view you want. Which one of them?
Okay, well.
You want yourself?
Is it that one? There we go. Okay, I just want to show you guys really quick what this looks like at the moment. Sorry, I'm not used to like the controls, you guys. So this is what it looks like at the moment. Not great, right? But don't worry about this view. Get back to this one. Okay, there we go. So this is not going to take very long to dry, just a couple minutes. Scooch that chair back so I don't hear it squeaking. This one's, look at how cool that is looking. Okay, this one's probably pretty good. So now what I'm gonna do is start buffing in some of the sepia color. So it's not super scientific when you're working on a smooth metal surface. This has a little bit of texture to it, so it's gonna hold on to this a little bit better. But you can see how far this stuff goes. Okay, and we'll take my technical tool of my paper towel. We're just gonna pat her in. And we're just going to keep going in layers to get this. Now normally if I'm working on something bigger, right, so like furniture size or like planter size, you don't really have to worry about drying in between, because by the time you get around to the other side, it's already dry. So I think this would be some fun, like we needed some more things in the studio here to store all of the jewelry that we make. So these will be fun to use for that, I think. I think I might need a little bit more black in this area. What do you think? So we're getting this metallic look because of the silver that's showing through. Should I make the bottom match as well? What do you think? Ainsley's being all quiet up over there. She's not helping me.
Nobody is saying anything. Okay, finally we have a question.
Keep the conversation
Is this
going.
a thinner base than Antiques and Stains? This is the same as the Antiques.
Yeah, so this is the same product as the Antiques. It's the same. So it's just because I'm going on top of metal, it's going to behave a little differently. And large surfaces, right? So I'm trying to show you guys the optimal techniques when you're doing these on a larger size.
Lisa Mack said, I'm thinking an old cookie sheet would work great for my outside photography.
Yes, for sure. And this, like, it's got the perfect color base too, because it's got that metallic. So you could use these two colors on there of the black and the sepia brown to give it this, like, look at that. It just looks stinking ancient. Let me get back to this view again. Look at how this is turning out. Would you have believed that it looked like that? Right? Yuck. Now you can get, if you can tell on this one, let's see, wait. On this section, I've done less of the variegation, so you can get it to look just like antique brass, or like lots of variegation, more black in it, and it looks very aged and old. So with, when you're working on a large surface, you don't really need to heat it. You just need to work in layers, right? See how that's going? And once there's a little bit of a base, it likes to stick to itself. That's also why using a chip brush is good, because you're not going to put too much on. So you don't want to paint it on really, because yeah, it won't just like stick like a coat like the paint will. So the idea is opacity, like less of an opacity. Okay, we'll get back to that view. But yeah, cookie sheet would be great for doing large scale photography. Or like sheet metal. Let's say you wanted to do the inside of your jewelry display frame to be a piece of metal. We could do that for sure.
Lisa was saying that she preheats her metal to set the glaze.
Yeah, so what I was saying is that that's not really practical on a large scale piece. So what you want to do is work in layers so that you don't have to do that. And you know, think thin layers and stippled in order to get the desired effect. So you just look for any kind of missing areas, but look at that. Just looks like, I love it anyway. All right, so the outside of this guy, right? You could, if you had more of a shabby chic look, you could leave it in this white, but we're gonna do a little bit more glam, and we're gonna do a combination between metallics and some of the other glaze colors on top of them. So we'll get started with just a little bit of black. It's always nice to lay down a little bit of dark colors so that the metallics can really stand out. Plus, like, this frame was a little bit chunked up, so I don't feel bad about covering it or repurposing it. So you can see the difference. Like if I was working with the paint, it would go on more like an enamel and not spread out this much. So you can see how we're just getting kind of an antique feel to this. You could, let's say if you just wanted to antique this, you could wipe off and make it look like barnwood. So if you went like this, couple of different varieties. I'm going to show you a few different ways you could antique some of the things that you have laying around, a couple different options. And ultimately, though, we're going to show you the metallic version. So you can see how you could just age it that way by wiping off.
We'll all be thrift store shopping soon, looking
Yes.
for all these end cookie sheets too.
For sure. But what I wanted to do was give you guys a few different things that you could do for your markets. And don't worry about your jars getting messy. They will get messy. And the black particularly just doesn't come off. So if you don't want your hands to look like this, wear gloves is what I would suggest. It does wash off though, which is nice. So I'm just going to give this a good kind of base coat. Good thin base coat to put underneath the metallic gold. When we eventually do red, that's also a nice under color to do underneath. Okay.
I like to think of it as like oils, where you base out you have your whole base that you do,
Yeah.
and then you layer your colors.
So again, when I'm working on like larger scale, I don't usually have to dry things. I'm going to dry this though right now because I don't want you guys to have to wait. Also, it kind of erases any of the bubbles that are in here. You don't want bubbles, which is nice. All art and artist hands are supposed to be messy. I guess I'm doing my job then, because this is what they look like 90% of the time.
I think it'd be fun to try painting with these, because in the larger sizes specifically, because when I went to paint with these on just like a normal canvas,
Yeah.
I was constantly squirting out and squirting out
Yeah.
and squirting out.
Yes.
So I think this would be a lot more optimal.
Okay, and look at how quickly that is. It's just about dry there, guys. Okay. So you're going to see this has been sitting here for a minute. When I'm going to get my gold out, right, I want to get towards the bottom. Look at, do you see how my pigments are? I'm picking those up off the bottom. This is a clean brush because I'm not blending colors here. Right, this is the equivalent of shaking it. And then I'll just wipe off the excess. But look at how pretty this is. It's just giving a nice sheen to this frame. I think a little bit of that was still wet. That's okay though. It's okay if it blends a little bit into it. So these are going to be a lot more durable and very kind of authentic looking than, since my frame's a little wet, I'm going to pour some out. Than like your craft paints, right? You don't have to work as hard to get a super authentic looking finish. And one nice thing is that these work on all surfaces, so no matter what your surface is, it's going to be able to stick. So by doing an undercoat of the black, you're getting a bronze look. which goes really well with our line of products. Like with your jewelry designs, with the things that we tend to like to design. I shouldn't say line of products, but our jewelry aesthetic. Now, this is still wet. I can go in and go, I want to remove a little bit of this or add a little bit of texture so that it doesn't look so perfect. Get this dry, and then we'll add another, maybe some more highlights. What do you think? Do you think we should do some copper highlights on this as well?
I can't. It's not caught up, so I can't see what it looks like.
What do you guys think?
Personally, I would say no.
Okay, so then we're just gonna dry this and then we'll add some more gold highlights because I do want that. I wanna make sure that this is completely dry so we get that nice gold look to it. Because right now, the black that's in here is really cooling down the temperature of the metallic. So if you want a bronze color and didn't know how to get it, now you know. Base of black with the top coat of metallic gold. Eventually, we will do most of the color line in these, but they will be, we're trying to be kind to the warehouse and doing these in small batches since we have a very small team, and so that we can really focus on the techniques for all of the colors and give you guys a chance to just add them as we go along and build your collection.
How many people do we have? You, me, Doug, Wendy, Corian, Kieran.
Yeah.
6, and then 6.5 because Krista part of the time for customer service.
Yeah, just really little team, guys.
So not very many of us, guys.
And I know I've had the question, why did we decide to do the antiques before doing the ultimate paints in the larger size? And it just comes down to what we can communicate in the branding and showing really how valuable. It was just easier to market this and develop. Look at how pretty that is. Look at that. You could just do one more coat in here and do it like a stripe. I know it's the boring thing, right? Where you have to be like, we had to figure out how to be able to market this in a larger size and show that it's not just a craft paint. And that's honestly easier to do with an antique than it is an enamel. Because if it's a paint, people are like, well, what's the difference between this and your craft paint that you get, just anywhere?
And then Peggy said, yes, the warehouse is struggling at the present moment. Yes, especially with Corian being as out of commission as she can.
Yes, for sure. So we're trying to be kind and get these out, but we're going to do it. We're going to be kind to them and do it in smaller batches. So because I have that darker base and I just am doing a little bit of modeling, look at how authentic that looks, you guys. You cannot get this with a standard craft paint. And plus this is like, I don't even think this is wood. I think this is like composite resin.
Yeah, it doesn't.
It's like, I don't think it is. But it looks like an authentic antique. So just a few steps to get these. Now, if you're just antiquing something, let's say you have a gold frame, it's already like that. You can accomplish this look in one step. You just brush your stuff on and you let it settle in. But for you guys, I wanted to do jewelry displays, and this is what we had on hand. So
Doug said, we're pretty much caught up now, just the live orders from Wednesday's show waiting.
Awesome.
Miracle workers.
Yes, they are, for sure. That's turned out really good, right? Let me get back to this view again. Look at how cool that is.
We'll just put it up against the background even. You can see
Like,
how.
yeah, how the same it is, right? Like if you had something white, you could do just a little bit of the gold accents, just a little bit of the black in there. Really great. So now you're going, well, how does this become a display? So the reason that I'm having you guys use cardboard in here is because it's really easy to work with. So what do you think we should do with this? I'm gonna put this in here so we can so I'm just gonna change this around to this screen. Do you want to back out the camera a little bit, the zoom, so we can see this standing up, so we can kind of decide what we're going to do with this. Perfect. And then would you hand me that backer for this? Thank you. So this is a frame stand, right? We've got like this. So I'm going to move this out of the way for a second. And can you make it so that we can see this as well? Like just move it down a little bit.
You need to move the iPad.
Yeah, I'll move this over. Perfect. Okay, so we've got a few different options here. I'm going to grab a few pieces of jewelry to show you what we can do. Grab last week's theme stuff. A couple ones. Okay. So we can use this as, do you want to zoom a little bit on this guy? So there's a couple things we can do. We can put a hook on the back and be like, okay, we're going to hang this here, right? This can be our star. Also, though, it's a little too close. I want just the whole I want the whole frame in there, but yeah. Also, we can decide to do several earrings. It's so hard to do this like backwards. We can do several earring pairs in here, right? We could do a set. Let me grab something that's a little bit easier to show. Maybe this guy. This one? There we go. A silicone pastry brush I would not suggest because it's not going to absorb any of the product and it's going to leave it very wet on there. But you're welcome to try it for sure. So we can do earring pairs. We can do a necklace display. What do you guys think? How would you use this? Because we can do like hooks up here. How would you use it, Ainsley? Do you think earrings?
I think I'd probably put little tacks in there and then hang things from the tacks.
Right, but I'm saying like would you do
earrings?
Yeah. So we're gonna swap back over to here. And back here. And we're going to decide what do we want to use this display for. You might have a set, and this is for the purpose of this class and showing you, I'm using something that's smaller scale, right? So you might want to have like a hero set that you want to do that is just really lovely together. And I did the verdigris finish because the brass looks gorgeous on it. You might wonder why we use this color a lot is because it pairs so well with the brass. But I would suggest if you're going to do large projects, definitely get the chip brush. They are so cheap. And what happens is it absorbs enough of the color, and it doesn't like get hard or dry out. Even though the product is drying on here, it stays pretty flexible, so you have a long working time to be able to rinse it off. That's kind of my pro tip. What about this, where we do a combination of, like, there's your necklace and there's your earrings. What do you think? All right, I will need the ruler and a bead awl.
Should be towards the end. Purple.
Haha, found it. Also really great. So what I'm going to do is measure out. So we want these to be the same. Usually if I was at home and not on camera, I would be probably eyeballing this. Looks like about a 1/2 inch that way. So we'll do the first one and then we'll match the second one. So we're going to do a 1/2 inch. Put this about here. And then we'll do this right here. This is, just make sure that that's, yep. So we'll get that marked. So what's nice about the cardboard is that you can work with it this way, right? And then you can just punch it through, no power tools needed. And this is 1 point, it's 1 1.5, 1 3/4 plus a 1/16. Okay. So 1 3/4 plus a 1/16 is about right there. And then how far back did I say that was?
I don't know.
1/2 inch. I can measure it right here. Ainsley's falling asleep over here.
No, I just like don't pay attention to numbers.
Oh, I'm talking about yeah, it was a 1/2 inch. So we're gonna go 1/2 inch. So I'm a little bit down from there. There we go. Okay, so we've got those marked. Now we can go all the way through. Nobody guessed what this was. You guys know what this cardboard is from? That's ended up lower for some reason. I thought that I had measured it, but it's always harder to get on camera. You guys get to see our mess ups. Okay, so we've got our holes in there. And wherever my earrings went, I'll get these put in here. So there's a couple ways you can do this, right? This is, these are gonna stay on here. The other thing that we can do is, would you grab me some wire, please?
It's right behind you. You want thick wire?
Yeah. So these are really great for show displays, right? These are your stars. These are your eye-catching things. This is not really meant for, this particular display is not really meant for, this is going to hang all of your ear wires on. Or all of your pairs, earring pairs on. It's meant to be more like, like working like a bust would. So I'm just getting some wire ready. You do want this to be accessible. You want to be able to grab these off. So I'm going to put my wire through. Both of these that I created. Get those about the same distance out. Okay, turn it over. This will give you a chance to see if you can guess where this came from. You should have offered a prize, right? Motivate them, the conversation going. Okay, so
Lisa said if you use chain, you could hook the wires through the links.
mm-hmm. So we're going to put this down. So the other reason that I like to use the cardboard is that it's a good replacement size for the glass. So if you're buying a thrifted frame, it used to have glass or it does have glass. Here we go. So now we've got these little hooks on here, and you can put your ear wires right through these hooks. So even a pair like this, in a pair like this guy, right, is going to always sit really nice on here. I like your idea of the bracelet on this one. Do you want to pick out a bracelet for me to display on here? Because I think that's what I'm going to do next. Bracelets can be tricky to display at shows as well, so I think that would be a good one to do. Maybe pick me out a couple of options, because some are going to work well on this and some are not. For sure, also good for taking photos. So you can take like a random piece of cardboard, right? Like here's Ainsley's that she was working on earlier. So you can take and just use this as your photography backdrop. It doesn't have to, you don't have to hang jewelry on it, but you certainly can. Do you want to just hand me one of them and I'll start thinking about how to, how I might want to display this. So I think a design that's more symmetrical, like this little guy, is probably going to work better than this asymmetric one for this. But you know what we could do? What do you guys think? Do you like that one or this one? Gosh, they're both so pretty. What do you think, Ainsley?
Probably that one.
This one might be a little bit easier to do. So just brainstorming this guy and thinking about, well, how could the display work for both? I think if you keep it in the bracelet format and we do something about this distance apart, then we can create that kind of a universal display so that you can swap out your designs. And let's see, what do we think? I think about here and here would be pretty good. Also, I was gonna say, can you grab me that mesh bust over there? Or not mesh, sorry, it's like burlap feeling. So I'm gonna do this hole here. Yes, thank you. Perfect. Okay, so we know that this one's good. I'm going to take this out of the frame too. It's going to be a little bit easier to measure and work with, which is probably what I should have done before. Duh. Sometimes I don't think about these things while I'm in the middle of it, and then I think about it later. Okay, pop this out. Got that one marked. And go ahead and get this punched all the way through. And measure it from the side. That's a lot easier to measure this way, don't you think? It's like 1 1/4 inch from the side.
I think it's smartest if you just lay it flat, and instead of doing that, stop what you're doing. Go like this. Do it across it, and then you can do both at the same time.
Oh yeah, I agree. So but let me get the distance from the bottom first so that we're in the kind of correct vicinity. So this is 2 1/2 and 1/16. 2 1/2. Guys, measuring is not my stinking strong suit because I make my husband do it. I'm kind of bad at it. That's why I eyeball things. And usually I'm pretty good. I'm good at eyeballing, but not the best at like... not the best at the rest of the other stuff. So... I'm almost right there. Okay. Hopefully that's right. Close enough, guys. Thank you, Stephanie. Okay. 1 1/4. Perfect. Okay, so what we want here is more of like a peg situation, I think. So we're going to do the same thing with these. But we're going to close them down a little bit more. See if I can stay on screen for you guys. And then make it a hook. Divide that in half. You guys, I'm just making this stuff up on the fly. Hope you appreciate the creativity. Because I was like, well, I always do these, right? I've done these in the past, but didn't know exactly how I was going to execute this one. It's kind of fun. So we'll get our hooks in there. So I knew I was going to do some sort of wire display. Do you want to load this one up with some earrings, the bowl that we did? Keep Ainsley awake yet.
I'm awake. I've been awake.
Engage then. Okay. So we've got both of those hooks in there. Turn this over. And flip these out. So once the backer board is in here, it's gonna provide the tension that we need for these to stay. Here we go. Proof of concept. We'll see if it worked, guys. Ah, yeah. Lisa, I'm really curious, like this cookie sheet idea that you have. I think it could be really cool, like full wall display, right? You could drill into it and make some really cool stuff out of that. Okay, so now we've got our hooks for doing our bracelet and our hooks for doing our earrings. So really I could do either bracelet on this, and then your customers can take it off, right? It's not just like permanently affixed in there. What happened to the earrings? Oh,
They're right there.
toss them over there. Sorry guys. I tend to just like throw stuff around when I'm on screen and make a big mess. Ainsley's way better not making a mess than I am. I'm a messier creator. So you'll have to bear with me.
Difference is I have OCD and you don't.
Then they get to benefit from that. What do you guys think? I really like it. This was just a leftover frame that I had. You can buy these for like, I don't know, $1 at the thrift store and make something, and then grab your leftover cardboard and make a really gorgeous design for your displays. So let's swap back out for here for a second so you can see it large, right? What do you guys think? I know Monica had asked a while back about some of these things, right? If you get a large enough frame, you can find these guys, right? You can put one of these on. And something that I didn't like about these busts that you can buy, you can find them anywhere, is the color is not very appealing for our metals. But the idea that I had is that you can take this, and I think I'll probably do this, off camera or a different day. You can put the tissue paper decoupage over it and make it look just like one of these finishes. So we've got this one that I did, and we have this one that Ainsley did. Do you want to grab me the frame for this, the white one?
Is it this? Is it this?
It's the square one? Yes, yeah. So, this is the frame size for this guy. Which way would you like up for this one?
I think that's fine. Like
You want it like this? Okay. So I'm gonna put
I wonder who cut that one.
this one? Yeah. I don't know. Who could have been that messy?
Who had a perfectly cut one, and then who did this?
I swear
Ow.
it fit before.
All you should have done is just take the glass and trace the glass on it and then cut it.
The glass I
You
pulled
might have
out.
to turn it.
No, it does fit. I think I can't put it in that way because I got it to fit earlier. So I was like, how is this gonna work? And I know I did have it fitting. Yeah, it's not quite square.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I did do that. I took a mat out and did that. Look at that. So all we do is the same. So now this one's bigger. So you could fit several pair of earrings on here. Let me grab a few. So if you have like a more industrial look to your booth, right? Something like this. You guys, I'm struggling today. Okay, look at how many pairs you can fit across here. Because not very much of this is being taken up by the frame of it, right? It's mostly surface area. It might be easier to show this way, actually. Let me get back here. And let's do this. Let's not work so hard. So let's see how this would look on Ainsley's gorgeous stinking finish here that she's got going. So you can get an idea of how you could display a lot of pairs here. Big ones, small ones. And then what I would do is do these same hooks that we showed on this other one. Right, so I would do some sort of variation of this hook so that you can put your ear wires through. But I would lay it out and think about, all right, am I gonna do, maybe I wanna do rows. So maybe my large earrings go down here, my smaller earrings go up here, and I wanna put the hooks closer together on these and maybe a little bit further apart on this other row. So I would think about, yeah, maybe these are skinnier, maybe they're some little narrow designs that we've got, and do some planning that way, measure it all out, poke all your holes, bend all your wires, and make some great finishes. Obviously, we can also antique this part of the frame. I would for sure do that. This is a plastic, so I think the best thing to do would be to decoupage a little bit of this tissue paper on so that it sticks better. That's probably what I'll end up doing to finish this out. But I think it's going to make a great display, and also like what cool like photography as well. Okay, so the other thing that we can show is, look at how cool these look on here, right? So you can display earrings this way as well. I like my studio at home to look really pretty and to showcase the things, my designs that are waiting to ship.
Candy asked,
this
how
way.
would you show the prices on your pieces? Attach little tags? Thanks.
Yeah, so if you're doing it open stock like this, I would either like group things according to price. So if you're displaying them this way, not on a card, then I would put a little stand, maybe even inside here. And you can, what's cool about it is you can antique it to match. Or stick it on and say these, and you know the price
You could
range.
do one of those little clips with the little tags.
Yeah,
too,
yeah,
on the
yeah.
edge of the pottery.
So I would group them by price, and that's the way I would do that. Otherwise, you can take this same idea and put your cards up, right? Or you can have a few things that are standouts. It is hard to sticker. We used to do this at Country Fair a lot, where we would just group things by pricing instead of tagging everything. It's really just depends on how busy is your booth. Do you have time to converse with people? This would work better in like a display that you're manning versus a shop display, right? If it's something like this, you could always put a tag that sits on the inside of the bowl, right, to pull out. But also, these can be for shows. This can also just be for how you organize your stuff at home, in your studio, in your bedroom. I like using vessels a lot for that. Let me turn this one back on. Come back over here. Okay. Any other questions?
Nope.
So what's your favorite finish that we showed today, guys? What's your favorite display idea that you think that you will accomplish? And if you like this content, we can come up with more ideas as well. Let us know if you want more creative jewelry display ideas, because we have them. I'm just going to get these lidded up. You're going to want to make sure that these are screwed on really tight before you store them. And, be careful, because it is a thin bodied, be careful shaking it up. Because if your lid's not on completely, you can have antique everywhere.
Looks like we have a couple comments. Jean says the frame. Lynn said both are very nice.
Mm-hmm.
Lisa Mack said gotta do blue greens for my stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it really, these show really well. They just they make the metal pop. Okay, Peggy says yes, more creative displays. Awesome. I think also people are just interested in what to do with all of their jewelry, right? You have it at home. Even if you are a collector and you're not doing a booth of it, you have it in your bedroom. This is a really lovely way to put you could hang this guy on the wall with several pairs of earrings. You could string a wire across here and put several pair of earrings on it as well. So I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of a seed of thinking about what you can do with things that you already have to create your displays with. I think this will be a fun one to do, because I love the shape of these busts, but I don't really like the way the jewelry looks on them.
Yeah, it's a bit distracting.
Mm-hmm. It's just too much texture.
Yeah.
Is it funny that I find this aesthetic? It's because it's all the colors that I like. I know Ainsley gave me a face when I said that. It's just yeah, I think you're crazy for thinking that that's aesthetic. Oh, I'm missing one lid. Do you have it over there?
Yeah, there's a couple over here.
Thank you. So I will swap back with you, and I will let you pop up what the collections are again on Carter on here. And these are available in the individual colors that we've launched and as sets. So you're gonna get an additional discount by buying them in the bundles. So we've got the basic colors, which are our most used colors. Black for antiquing everything. Anything that you have that you want to add that detail to. Verdigris blue, because it's, that's our signature color, and it mixes so well with the sepia brown to give it a more of a green tint, and the brown obviously for making things look like brass and copper that have a silver tone. And then our basic metallics, which are metallic gold, metallic silver, and metallic copper. So you've got those, and then I don't have the right packaging here, but our glazes are really, the two clear glazes, matte and gloss, are really essential for doing this decoupage technique, adding an additional layer of durability. And I know for a long time people have been asking for this product in a larger size. So even if you're using it for jewelry, it's just nice to have it accessible. You really want to see the redo on the bust. Yeah. What time is it right now? What time is it right now?
12:49.
So we've been here for 2 hours?
Almost, yeah.
Almost 2 hours, yeah. So I will, are you ready to swap back?
Yeah, I've been
with
ready
me?
for a while.
Okay, awesome. I will definitely take photos of these for you guys as well. I'll let you pop those sets up on Carter. We'll tell you what the prices are, where to find them. Stephanie, they're only available on our retail site.
So this first set is the clear coat set, so you can take a look at that. We don't have those here obviously, but it's just going to be the matte and the clear basic glaze. Perfect for, like we said, lost
Did
hearing.
you fling some?
Perfect for adhering, and then also just giving an extra shiny or matte finish to whatever you are painting on. And then
so those are you can sit this way a little bit more so your face isn't covered up. That set is $36. So normally $40. And if you were buying this in the small sizes, it would be about $80 worth of product. So really amazing deal for you guys.
And then we have our metallic set, $55 for 3 of these colors. Lots of savings there as well. We have the metallic silver, metallic gold, and the metallic copper in that set there. So all of your basics for refinishing, resurfacing, any of the kinds of projects you want to do. And then our essential set has the sepia brown, the verdigris blue, and our black. And those are just our absolute favorite colors. Obviously, you can do really cool techniques. If you get both of your sets, you have the perfect opportunity to do a verdigris. But we will release more colors to do it even more inclusive of that as well in the future.
Yes.
Because we do like using some of the other colors like neon green and stuff like that. So keep your eye out for that down the line. But you definitely can still achieve that right now, even with just like these 2 sets for sure.
As we get into the spring, we may start doing things that are more garden-y. We really want to make sure that we're doing things that are relevant for you, though. And as you're thinking about spring markets and how to make over things that you already have, another idea that I had was just taking cardboard flats and doing them in this finish, right? Like I think, the one, like the boxes I have sitting on my shelf that are old shipping boxes, if I just decoupage them with this, Wouldn't that be so cool for your studio?
Even if you just like use a whole thing, like a matte glaze on top of it too.
Yeah, for sure. Just
Pinatas.
Really great. Yeah, you could.
You can definitely make a pinata.
For sure. One question I have for you guys that are on here.
But also, I feel like this glaze, sorry, this is a side note, I feel like it's better than Mod Podge.
Oh, it is.
It adheres way better, so don't do Mod Podge. This glaze is going to do way better.
And so, like, trust me, I used to work with that consistently.
I know what it's like. It sucks.
And it gets,
It's so messy.
It takes forever to dry,
if you were a scrapbooker, like we used to do a lot of stuff with that back in the day for a while. This, definitely your friend if you're wanting to do anything like we did today.
Right. Like, it is superior than any other
This isn't the
medium.
correct packaging or anything. This is just
that's a smaller size. It's
smaller
just what we have,
size.
but it comes in the big size.
It does come in the big size.
I would like to know what color requests or what are your most requested colors that we haven't already released so we can think about what other sets we can put together for our next release next month. So let me know what colors you guys are looking for, you really want to see, and I will think about how those stack up with what's the most important for the next release. And we will, for sure.
And then Stephanie's asking about wholesale.
Yeah, I already answered that.
Did?
I did. I saw that. Yep. No, just retail website. If we do these on the wholesale site, I don't know that we would sell them for much less than what we do here because it's just already such a great value.
And it'd be kind of expensive to have to buy the volume.
Yeah. Right, because we sell those in multi-packs, so it wouldn't be as...
I would recommend, because otherwise it might, depending on how quickly you use it, it might sit on your shelf longer than you would desire it to just stick with the retail.
Yeah,
and just
for sure.
the one at a time, unless you were reselling. There's not really a...
So Peggy said, any of the other metallics, any other like colors, because there will be some that like with this line and with the antiques, we want to make sure that they are the most shelf stable colors that we have. They last the longest.
I feel like if I were you guys, I would want iridescence.
That's kind of, this was my thinking, is that we would do some of the iridescence as the next, and then maybe in combination with a couple of colors. I hadn't quite figured out what I wanted to do with that yet, but that is definitely my thought process because we use them so often.
Lisa Mack said, I need green for my summer designs.
So more of the green
and
colors.
And then gold iridescent as well.
Yes, so iridescence for sure. So maybe we'll do like...
I think I would probably want the yellow. What is that? I don't remember the name.
The yellow...
That we talked about. Topaz, yeah.
Yeah, topaz is a really great color as well.
So.
For sure. So we'll be keeping that in mind.
Probably white as well.
Yeah. We might be like looking at like bright green, rust, some iridescence, maybe another great one is inkwell purple for antiquing brass.
Yeah, inkwell purple.
For sure. All right. You want to switch over to your view and swing that arm out of the way? We'll get a little bit more aesthetic view and give them like just one more peek at, we can give them one more peek at these displays. Just pretty. And you know what? Like I'm showing this to you as jewelry displays, but honestly, do this stuff to the stuff in your house.
Your pots, your...
Do it.
Everything.
I did a planter in this. I love it. I was gonna throw away the container.
If I had Guys, if you didn't know, I really like fish. I think they're weird and goofy. If I had like a metal like fish something, I would probably paint that.
Oh, yeah.
Like just be like salmon colors and.
Do you want to show them the other two?
Yeah, I was about to.
Awesome. And I will try to get some photos of these for you guys so you have a reference of what they look like. Got your Vanna White look.
What?
You were holding it, but it looked like you were pointing, like in a very pageant queen kind of way, unintentionally.
I had no idea who that was. So
she's and this one I think could look cool with cards on it too. So if you're a person who is like an earring card person, but you want the earrings to go in front. You know what? I just had an idea. Let me do this really quick because I think that this would be a good idea for you guys. Where's the ball?
I don't know.
Might be underneath you.
No, it doesn't appear to be. Oh, here it is.
Okay. I'm going to make a concept for you guys here really quick that I just thought could be a cool thing for your larger earring display, but still be able to show the pieces on top of your background. Because you could price this then. If you did an earring card that was like this guy, right? Then you're still showing on top of your cool background, and but you can still price it. So that's kind of a happy medium. You're showing it on top of the cool background. You're getting that wow factor, but then you have your card that is able to have stickers on it.
Our table has definitely seen better days before today.
Okay, Ainsley had this place spick and span. I'm telling you, you guys, it was like the cleanest I've ever seen it in here, including when we moved in. And I kind of really trashed it. So, sorry, Ainsley, but I will promise we will clean up before we go. All right. Ready to say goodbye.
Okay, guys, thank you so much for joining us. We hope you had a great time today. Of course, leave those color requests down below.
Yeah.
For our main pigments, not the metallics or even the iridescents, because that's what we're looking to release some more of next. And give us some project requests as well. Tell us what you're looking for. Feel free to drop that into the DIY with Vintage group. And definitely, if you do anything like this, share it with them. Share your ideas. Share your display ideas. Yeah. I'm sure everybody would love to see that. So thank you so much. And we will see you all next time. And don't forget to join Corian on Wednesday for another warehouse sale.